हेलो बच्चों, कैसे हैं आप लोग। उम्मीद करता हूं कि आप लोग अच्छे से और सुरक्षित होंगे अपने अपने घरों में, और साथ ही साथ आप लोग अपनी शिक्षा भी सुचारू रूप से कर रहे होंगे। बच्चों, ये बहुत ही विकट स्थिति है इस वक्त आप लोग के पास, तो मैं आप लोग से यही उम्मीद करता हूं कि आप लोग अपने ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा समय अपनी परीक्षा को ध्यान में रखते हुए अपना उपयोग करते होंगे और एक निर्धारित और निश्चित समय सारणी बनाकर आप लोग अपने सारे विषयों को भरपूर समय देते होंगे। तो आज का हमारा ये टॉपिक चैप्टर 11 दैट इज ड्यूअल नेचर ऑफ मैटर एंड रेडिएशन का दूसरा पार्ट है, दैट इज मैटर वेव। सो अभी तक हम लोगों ने क्या देखा बच्चों कि हमने देखा कि एक बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट, बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण एक फिनोमिना देखा जिसे हमने कहा फोटो इलेक्ट्रिक इफेक्ट। तो ये जो फिनोमिना है फोटो इलेक्ट्रिक इफेक्ट, ये क्या सत्यापित करता है कि जो इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक रेडिएशन, इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक वेव्स, इट मे बी ए रेडियो वेव्स, it may be a microwave, it may be a infrared, it may be ultraviolet, it may be gamma rays, it may be X-rays. All these are different types of electromagnetic waves. So this electromagnetic radiation has dual nature, that is particle nature. Especially the particle nature of light has been proved by the photoelectric effect. And from the different experimental phenomena such as reflection, refraction, interference, diffraction and polarization, it has also been proved that this light consists of wave nature also. So as a whole हम ये कह सकते हैं कि लाइट की दोहरी प्रकृति है। पहला कि वो एक कण का रूप होता है, और दूसरा और एक वेव का रूप होता है। तो आज हम देखेंगे कि लाइट के अलावा इस भौतिक दुनिया में जितने भी मैटर्स हैं, मैटर्स आप लोग सभी जानते हैं, दैट हैव मास एंड ऑक्युपाइज स्पेस। तो जितने भी मैटर्स हैं, क्या वो भी पार्टिकल नेचर के साथ साथ वेव नेचर शो करता है कि नहीं? तो आइए देखते हैं मैटर वेव्स। तो शुरू करते हैं आज का विषय, मैटर वेव। जैसे कि हमने देखा कि लाइट दोहरी प्रकृति की होती है, पार्टिकल नेचर के साथ साथ वो वेव नेचर भी शो करती है। ठीक है, तो अब हम देखेंगे कि बाकी जितने भी मैटर्स हैं सच एज इलेक्ट्रॉन, प्रोटॉन, बीटा रेज, ठीक है, न्यूट्रॉन्स, ये सब भी हमारे वेव नेचर कॉन्स्टिट्यूट करते हैं कि नहीं। तो इसके लिए सन 1924 में एक फ्रेंच फिजिस्ट, that is called, his name was de Broglie, a French physicist, Louis de Broglie, in 1924, given his important hypothesis. Remember, this is an hypothesis given by de Broglie because it has no practical support. That's why it was called as hypothesis. In Hindi we call it as avdharna. But later this hypothesis was proved by Davison and Germer by their important experiment called Davison and Germer experiment. Now this year this Davison and Germer experiment has been excluded from your syllabus. But you should know that the practical evidence given to the wave nature of particle was supported by Davison and Germer experiment. So de Broglie thought that like radiation, the matter, that is any moving particle that is matter, such as electron, proton, neutron, etc., must also exhibit the wave nature. Why? Because it was an idea that nature follows symmetry. Nature follows symmetry. Symmetry means balanced. Okay. So as there are two important quantities in this universe, one is energy and another is matter. Okay. So these two reasons that these two, energy and matter, must also be mutually similar, mutually symmetric. Based on this fact, de Broglie put forward his hypothesis of which is later known as de Broglie's hypothesis. Right? So all the physical particles such as electron, proton and neutrons and many others all will behave as a matter wave if a photon, that is the electromagnetic, behaves as a wave, and electromagnetic radiation is nothing but energy, and electron, protons and neutrons are nothing but matter. So if energy can behave as a particle as well as wave, then matter must behave as a particle as well as wave. कहने का अर्थ है electromagnetic wave is nothing but your light and light is nothing but your energy. So if energy has dual nature, then the second element of the nature, that is the matter, must have the dual nature. But mind it, this was his own ideas. Okay. So he put forward an important hypothesis called de Broglie's hypothesis. According to de Broglie's, a moving particle behaves sometimes as a particle and sometimes as a wave. A moving particle behaves as a particle when it interacts with matter, and a moving particle behaves as a wave when it is spread through the space. This was the hypothesis of Louis de Broglie. And theoretical, this was the hypothesis, and this hypothesis was given by theoretical explanation that if m is the mass of particle moving with velocity v, then then the wavelength of this wave will be h upon m times of v. This was his mathematical model of his hypothesis, where h is the Planck's constant, m is the mass of the particle, and v is the velocity with which it is moving. Let us derive this model. Lambda is equal to h upon mv. इसको डिराइव करते हैं. कैसे इन्होंने डिराइव किया? थियोरेटिकली, नॉट एक्सपेरिमेंटली. फ्रॉम द प्लैंक्स क्वांटम थ्योरी, द एनर्जी ऑफ फोटोन ऑफ रेडिएशन, द एनर्जी ऑफ फोटोन ऑफ रेडिएशन E कहां से आया? ये कहां से लिए? प्लैंक्स क्वांटम थ्योरी से. प्लैंक्स क्वांटम थ्योरी क्या कहता है कि द एनर्जी ऑफ फोटोन मीन्स वन पार्टिकल, that is photon is a packet which is considered as a particle, so energy of a photon is considered to be equal to h times of frequency nu, and this frequency is nothing but h times of c upon lambda. Let it be equation 1. But at the same time, the Einstein mass energy relation from the Einstein equation, E is equal to m times of velocity of square of the velocity of light. So equating this first and two, h nu becomes equal to mc square. Or h nu upon c is equal to mc. And what is nu upon c? Frequency upon velocity. This is velocity of light upon lambda. Okay, so c upon lambda is called as frequency. So frequency, 1 upon frequency is equal to lambda upon c, right? From this equation, 1 upon lambda will become frequency upon c. So put this value of frequency upon c as 1 upon lambda, and you will get h upon lambda is equal to mc. And what is mc? Product of mass and velocity, that is nothing but your momentum p. Okay, so this momentum, and this is what? h upon lambda. और इसको, ये जो डी ब्रोगलीज का इक्वेशन है, इसको भी अगर हम लिखेंगे तो हम अगर मोमेंटम का टर्म लेंगे तो क्या हो जाएगा? mv is equal to h upon lambda. This is also momentum and this is also momentum. So he proved in this way, he proved therefore momentum p of a photon of mass m is equal to h upon lambda, which will give you the wavelength of the wave as h upon p. Now this is for light radiation, electromagnetic radiation. If we consider the particle to be of matter particle, then this wavelength will follow the formula h upon, based upon this general formula h upon momentum, it will be mass into velocity. And when it is light, it follows the formula h upon m into c. V is the velocity of matter wave and c is the velocity of light. So the same formula for this matter particle as well as the light radiation. So since lambda, what is lambda? Lambda is the wavelength, and wavelength is also always associated with the wave. He proved his hypothesis theoretically. This is your de Broglie's equation. Now basically the de Broglie equation is meant to find the wavelength of the wave when the mass and the velocity of the particle is given. If it is a matter wave, the velocity v will be given, and if it is a light wave, c is to be known. ठीक है? So इससे हम, and if wavelength is given and c is given, the mass of the particle can also be find out. Now let us observe some important notification from this formula. Lambda is equal to h upon m into v. So from the here we see that if velocity is equal to 0, lambda tends to infinity. B, if velocity is equal to, velocity tends to infinity, lambda becomes 0 from this formula. So what does this formula states? That the wave nature of the matter is always associated when the matter is in motion. इस एनालिसिस से हमको क्या निष्कर्ष निकलता है कि मैटर पार्टिकल तभी वेव नेचर शो करेगा जब वो मोशन में रहेगा. अगर वो यदि रेस्ट पे है तो वो हमारा वेव नेचर शो नहीं करेगा, वो एक पार्टिकल की तरह ही बिहेव करेगा, उसका नेचर पार्टिकल नेचर ही रहेगा. लेकिन अब ये पार्टिकल कुछ भी हो सकता है, फ्रॉम लाइटर टू लाइटर मैटर पार्टिकल एंड फ्रॉम हैवियर टू हैवियर. एक क्रिकेट का बॉल भी हमारा मैटर पार्टिकल हो सकता है, और एक इलेक्ट्रॉन, प्रोटॉन या न्यूट्रॉन भी हमारा मैटर पार्टिकल हो सकता है. ठीक है? सो दिस de Broglie hypothesis and the de Broglie equation is applicable to the lighter as well as the heavier particle also. The matter wave is associated with particle when it is in motion. This is one important result. And what is matter wave? The wave associated with the matter particle is called matter wave, and this matter wave is also called as de Broglie wave. Okay? Matter wave is the wave associated with the material particle, electron, proton, neutrons, or a hockey ball, a cricket ball, okay, tennis ball, all are these matter, and the wave associated with these are called as matter wave. Okay, so matter wave sometimes and often and all, it is also called as the de Broglie wave, is associated with the particle when it is in motion. This is one important result. Second important result is that the matter wave or the de Broglie wave is totally independent of the nature of the charge. Whether it is positive charge or negative charge on the particle, it does not affect the matter wave. The matter wave is independent of the nature of the charge. It may be a negative charge having the such as electron, it may be a protons such as positive charge having proton, okay, and it may be a neutral, even neutral, that is neutron. And the third is that greater the momentum means product of mass and velocity, lesser will be the wavelength and vice versa. This is the third result. Now fourth result is that these matter waves are not an electromagnetic waves. Matter waves are totally different from electromagnetic wave. So what are the difference between a matter wave and electromagnetic wave? Matter wave and electromagnetic wave. So matter waves are associated with material particle in motion. Associated with material particle in motion, whereas electromagnetic wave are associated with accelerated charged particle. Particles. So see the major difference. Matter waves are associated with material particles which are in motion, whereas electromagnetic waves are associated with charged particle, accelerated charged particle. Not this charged particle, that is accelerated, means its acceleration is changing, velocity is changing with respect to time. Okay, here also the material particle can be a electron, that is the negative charge, can be a proton, that is the positive charge, can be your neutron, that is the neutral charge, but it is associated with the motion of that charged particle. But here, if the charged particles are in motion and the velocity is constantly changing, that is acceleration is changing, so that is called an accelerated charged particle. Right? This is one difference. Second difference is the velocity of the matter wave is variable. The velocity of the matter wave in a medium is variable. Why variable? Because the velocity of the matter wave depends on the velocity of the particle. So depending on the velocity of the material particle, the matter wave will change its velocity. Okay, but in electromagnetic wave, in a given medium, देखिए दोनों में हम मीडियम्स कांस्टेंट रख रहे हैं. अगर हम मैटर वेव की बात कर रहे हैं और मान लीजिए हम उसको एयर में या एयर मीडियम में अगर हम ले रहे हैं, और तो उस सेम मीडियम रखते हुए अगर हम पार्टिकल का वेलोसिटी ज्यादा है तो मैटर वेव का वेलोसिटी ज्यादा होगा, अगर पार्टिकल का वेलोसिटी कम है तो मैटर वेव का वेलोसिटी कम होगा. लेकिन इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक वेव का उसी मीडियम में यानी कि एयर में ही हमारा वेलोसिटी जो होगा वो कांस्टेंट होता है. तो इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक रेडिएशन का वेलोसिटी कब चेंज होगा? यदि हम मीडियम चेंज करते हैं. तो अब मीडियम हम चेंज करते हैं, से फ्रॉम एयर टू वैक्यूम अगर हम ले लें, तब उस समय वही इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक रेडिएशन का वेलोसिटी हमारा चेंज हो जाएगा. लेकिन चेंज कब हुआ? जब हमने मीडियम चेंज किया. तो सेम मीडियम को रखते हुए, कांस्टेंट मीडियम रखते हुए अगर हम कंपेयर करें, द मैटर वेव वेलोसिटी इज वेरिएबल डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द velocity of the material particle, whereas the velocity of the electromagnetic wave is constant in a given medium. Now, in comparison to the electromagnetic wave, these matter waves travels faster, right? So these are the difference between your material wave and electromagnetic wave. Now, this is all about your de Broglie's hypothesis, the derivation of de Broglie's hypothesis, and the difference between the matter wave or the de Broglie wave and electromagnetic wave. Now we will see the different equation for the purpose of numerical solving, either for the long answer question or for the MCQs coming. So from this topic, the numerical may be coming in your MCQs as well as for elaborate numericals also. Okay, so for different matter particles such as electron, proton, alpha particle, deuteron, all these are material particle, सबके लिए एक अलग अलग इक्वेशन है और वो अलग अलग इक्वेशन हम यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा डिस्कस करेंगे, जस्ट एक समरी के रूप में हम आप लोग को बताएंगे। इससे पहले ये सारे कैलकुलेशन में कुछ कांस्टेंट का वैल्यू हमको जानना होगा, जैसे मास ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन m सबस्क्रिप्ट e इज इक्वल टू 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg. This you all know. Okay. Charge on electron q is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Okay. Planck's constant value, it is h is equal to 6.62 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second. Now, charge on alpha particle q alpha is equal to charge on twice of the charge on the proton, that is 2 into 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Okay, mass of the proton, it is equal to 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. On deuteron, QD is equal to charge on one electron, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. It is charge on alpha. Charge on alpha is equal to 2 times of twice of charge on electron or proton, that is 2 into 10 to the power 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Charge on alpha. Mass of the proton 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg, and charge on proton QP, charge on proton is equal to charge on electron, that is again 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Okay, now mass on, that is MD, it is equal to 2 times of mass of proton, that is 2 into 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg, and mass of alpha particle is equal to 4 times of mass of proton. So this data you will have to remember approximately. Nevertheless, this data will be provided to you in your question paper also. We consider it as electron. starting from the electron. What is the wavelength? When the electrons, de Broglie wavelength associated with de Broglie wavelength lambda associated with an electron, it is equal to 12.27 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter upon root over of V. What is V? V is the potential difference. V is the potential difference, and this will comes in your angstrom. This can be written as 12.27 upon root over V angstrom, the value of the wavelength for the electron. And from this you see that the wavelength, this shows that, what does it show? That wavelength is inversely proportional to the square root of applied potential difference. Second, for proton, this is for electron. Now say this is for proton, lambda p. Lambda p is equal to 0.286 upon root over V times of angstrom. Here also we see that wavelength of proton is inversely proportional to square root of potential difference. Now where from these values 12.27, 0.286 comes? From the general equation of lambda is equal to h upon m into v. Okay. Now this m is the mass. If you take electron, we take the electron mass. If you take proton, we will take the mass of the proton equivalent to the electron, and that is nothing but it is equal to mass of the proton is equal to mass of one electron, and charge on the one electron will be equal to charge on one proton will be equal to charge on one electron. So we can find, this is the velocity v, but here we are taking v as a potential difference because the simplified formula to use is h upon p. Now this is simplified as h upon twice of mass into electric field, or this electric field is again simplified as h upon root over 2m. Electric field is equal to charge into potential difference, that is 2mqv. ठीक है, तो यहां पर जो हम ये सब जो वैल्यू निकाल रहे हैं वो इस इक्वेशन से निकाल रहे हैं, लेकिन बेसिक इक्वेशन जो यूज हम कर रहे हैं वो यही कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, इसको हम और मॉडिफाई किए हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड. अगर डायरेक्ट वेलोसिटी दिया हुआ है तो हम ये इक्वेशन लगाएंगे, डायरेक्ट वेलोसिटी हमको दे दिया हुआ है तो हम ये इक्वेशन लगाकर इजीली निकाल सकते हैं. लेकिन जब हम इलेक्ट्रॉन, प्रोटॉन, न्यूट्रॉन, ड्यूट्रॉन की जब हम बात करेंगे तो वहां पर हमारा हो सकता है कि डायरेक्ट वेलोसिटी न दिया हो, उसमें अप्लाइड इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड का वैल्यू दिया हो, तब उस केस में ट्वाइस ऑफ मास इनटू इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड हम करेंगे. और यदि इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड भी डायरेक्टली न दिया हो, उसमें दिया हो चार्ज और पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस के टर्म में अगर डाटा दिया हो, तब हम ये यूज करेंगे. ठीक है, तो इस चाहे हम ये यूज करें, दैट डिपेंड्स अपॉन द डाटा गिवन इन योर प्रॉब्लम. तो डाटा कैसा दिया है उसी के ऊपर में हम वो करेंगे. तो जनरली हमने देखा कि अधिकतर जो न्यूमेरिकल हम करते हैं उसमें ये चार्ज, मास और पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस अप्लाइड, ये डाटा ज्यादा दिया रहता है आप लोगों को न्यूमेरिकल को सॉल्व करने के लिए या वैल्यू को कंपेयर करने के लिए. तो ये दोनों वैल्यू जो है 12.27 अपॉन रूट अपॉन वी, ये भी हमारा वेलोसिटी नहीं है, पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस है. और वेवलेंथ ऑफ प्रोटॉन इज 0.286 अपॉन रूट ओवर पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस. ये हमारा इस इक्वेशन से आया हुआ है. ठीक है, यहां पे हम सबका वैल्यू रखे हैं h प्लैंक्स कांस्टेंट. ठीक है, और रूट ओवर ट्वाइस ऑफ मास इनटू चार्ज, ये हम पूरा रखे हैं. और चार्ज का वैल्यू कितना होगा प्रोटॉन के लिए, मास का वैल्यू कितना होगा वो हम पहले जो डाटा जो दिया हुआ है उसमें से हम ले लेंगे। अगर ट्वाइस होगा या बराबर इक्वल टू इलेक्ट्रॉन होगा तो एज इट इज हम उसको रख के इसका वैल्यू को कैलकुलेट कर लिए हैं। लेकिन V हमको कहीं भी नहीं दिया है, यानी कि V एक ऐसा क्वांटिटी है जो कि हमारा वेवलेंथ को चेंज कर सकता है। ठीक है, सो इन जनरल वी सी दैट द वेवलेंथ ऑफ the material particle depends upon the potentially inversely dependent on the square root of the potential V. Similarly, for your deuteron, wavelength for deuteron, when it is calculated, it was found that it is equivalent to 0.202 upon square root of potential applied in angstrom. This is the formula which you will use in MCQs. MCQ में यही फॉर्मूला को आप रख के सीधा निकाल लेंगे, चाहे वो मास के। अब इस फॉर्मूला का यूज करने में आपको ये ध्यान नहीं रखना है कि इलेक्ट्रॉन का मास कितना है, इलेक्ट्रॉन का चार्ज कितना है, या प्रोटॉन का मास कितना है, प्रोटॉन का चार्ज कितना है, या ड्यूट्रॉन का मास कितना है, ड्यूट्रॉन का चार्ज कितना है। नहीं, ये सब याद रखने की और कैलकुलेट यूज करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है, क्योंकि सबका यूज करके हमने वैल्यू निकाल चुके हैं कांस्टेंट। सिर्फ हमको ये दिखना है कि पोटेंशियल कितना अप्लाइड हो रहा है। ठीक है, और उस हिसाब से हम वेवलेंथ इलेक्ट्रॉन, प्रोटॉन एंड ड्यूट्रॉन का हम निकाल लेंगे। और अल्फा पार्टिकल की जब बात करें, lambda of alpha it is equal to 0.101 upon root over of potential applied। ये चार इक्वेशन हमको मिल गए आप लोग के एमसीक्यू को सॉल्व करने के लिए और न्यूमेरिकल सॉल्व करने के लिए। ठीक है, दिस इज अबाउट योर डी ब्रोगलीस हाइपोथेसिस एंड सम इक्वेशन रिलेटेड टू डी ब्रोगलीस wavelength. So with that we finish our chapter dual nature of matter and radiation. Division and Germer experiment is excluded for this year. Okay, so we are not going for that experiment. Simply you remember that division and Germer experiment was only experiment which proved the hypothesis of de Broglie's experimentally. That's all. Okay, thank you.